So I'm Marcel Manipar my friends.
And I'm Karen Gallo.
So Karen, what we're going to talk about?
Today we're going to talk about the topic the curiosity and debate. We call national exams or UN, which might be making a comeback. So, should the UN still exist in this era, or do we need a major overhaul?
So Karen, exactly Karen. Nationalism isn't something new, but with so many times happening, a lot of questions are emerging, especially about its impacts on students and education as a whole.
That's right, Marcel. And to discuss this topic, we invited several speakers who are competent and bring unique perspective. So, let's meet them!
So guys, we have a special guest here. So the first one we have Mr. Rokan, the Minister of Education and Culture of Republic of Indonesia. Okay, Mr. Rokan, how are you?
Great, Marcel. How about you?
I'm very good. So, who's next?
Okay, next we have Miss Tiara, an educational psychologist who often speaks about the psychological impacts of our education system. Hello, Johnson.
Hi guys, I'm actually enjoying this session.
Okay. How are you?
I am good.
Yes, I'm very good too. So with us, Miss Kelly, as a clinical psychologist who focuses on mental health and psychological health. How are you, Miss?
I'm good.
Take a place, Miss.
Thank you.
Take a seat.
Next, we also have two students whose experience and opinion are very valuable. First is Della Abu.
How are you?
Hi there.
Hi.
Excellent.
Hi.
And we have Andini, who passed the national exam with high score. Hi Andini. Please welcome.
You do so pretty, Miss.
Thank you. Hi.
Oh, she just kidding.
How are you?
Lastly, we have April, a student who never failed the year.
Hi, students.
Take a seat, please. Lady.
Okay, and the last one, finally the last one, we have Yudri, who was well classified in the and one Hi Yudri. How's your day, Yudri?
Hi, everybody.
Good. But I think you feel sad. Yeah? Okay, so, take it.
Okay, everyone. Before we get into individual opinions, let's start with a simple question. The first question for Mr. Okan. Mr. Okan, in your opinion, is a national evaluation system like the UN still relevant in Indonesia today?
Okay, great. Well, in my opinion, an evolution system like UN remains relevant, but it must evolve with the times. Education today must be more flexible, prioritizing students' development rather than just focusing on a final exam. It should emphasize continuous learning, not a one-time test that affects everything. As for the type of basic test or KKA, planned for November 2025, we see it as a practice mission, influencing competency applied not only at the end of school. If done right, KKA can implement UN Indonesia by identifying strengths and weaknesses sooner.
So, Mr. Khan, it's more about a continuous and development-based system, right?
Yes, that's it.
So, in other words, not just a one-time score, but a long learning journey. Miss Tiara, what do you think about this?
Okay. I believe national evaluation is important to measure how much students have learned. However, we must also focus on their mental well-being. We need a more humanist system, one that gives space for students to grow without feeling overwhelmed by a single major exam. Regarding TQA, I actually support the idea if it focuses on developmental benchmarks and not competition. It must be nurturing, not threatening. TQA helps detect and support learning gaps. Aligning goals reduce the pressure students feel later during national exam Indonesia.
Also, mental health is indeed crucial, especially since exam pressure can heavily affect students. For you, Mr. Kelly, you have slightly different take, right?
Okay, personally, I think the national exam, while well intentioned, has major flaws. One is the overemphasis on a single exam to determine everything. Not every student can perform their best in one test. It creates unnecessary stress. I believe education instead should be more holistic, including emotional and social development. So, I feel that national exam in Indonesia, while meant to assess achievement, while meant to match with a single moment. Not everyone thrives in such pressure. Now about the TKA, I'm cautiously optimistic. If implemented properly, it could shift our focus from end results to long-term growth. But it must be supported by counseling and feedback, not just scores or what it falls into in this chapter.
That's very interesting. So, more flexible learning process-based system rather than just a final exam. But Della, you failed the national exam once, but still support such evaluation. Why?
Okay, yeah, I did fail, but hear me out. I still think the national exam actually matters. Like, it's kind of the only way we know if we're really learning something versus winning it. But don't get me wrong, I'm not signing up for a system successful that like a zombie. No way. Imagine if there was a chill sustainable system that actually helped us learn better and cares about our mental health. That would be a total game changer. And if you ask me about TKA, I think sounds promising if it means schools can catch problem early. Like, hey, we got you. Let's fix this before it gets messy. But seriously, please don't slap a permanent label on us at 13 like it's some kind of a tattoo. So maybe it's time for education to treat us like humans.
So, even after failing, you still see evaluation system as important tools. That's great. Andini, you passed the UN with high scores. Do you think it's still relevant?
Okay, thank you. I think the national exam is still relevant as long as it focuses on measuring study progress and not just pressuring them to pass. If implemented well, national evaluations are important to guess how well students have absorbed what they learned.
Okay, so Adini, you see the national exam as a snapshot of student achievement. If it's done flexibly, okay. But April, you never passed the national exam. What do you think needs to change this?
Okay, for me, given a single high-stakes exam that's very stressful, especially for students who can perform beyond the day of the test. There should be alternative evaluation methods that better accommodate different learning styles, like frequent day dispersion.
So, mental strength really is hard issue, especially when one exam decides everything. Let's say you train. You once felt overwhelmed by the UN system. Can you share a bit about that?
Okay, thank you. The opportunity given to me. In this occasion, I want to share what I feel and my opinion about the national exam. When I took the national exam, it felt like the whole weight on my shoulder, and I was nervous every day. And I feel like the system only care about the final result, not the learning process. And for me, education shows the prioritizes holistic study development. I know exams are important, but they need to be balanced with study mental health.
The mental burden is indeed a big issue. So especially when a single exam can affect your whole future. So education needs to accommodate diverse students' needs and personalities, a very important reflection. Wow, guys, that's a great discussion in here. So, Karen, from the relevance national exam, psychological pressure on students, to alternative solution for our education evaluation system, it seems it's not just about whether national exam should exist, but how we can build fairer and more human system.
Totally agree, Marcel. What matters most is creating an educational system that supports student growth, not just focusing on that threshold. And we definitely can ignore the importance of student mental health. What about you, Marcel?
And the most importantly, education isn't just about numbers or grades. It's about preparing students to be better individuals in the future. So, whether in its national exam or another form of evaluation, it should reflect that.
Actually, in my opinion, that ideal evaluation system assists students holistically, not just with one-time tests, and definitely without overwhelming their mental well-being. We need solutions that are more human and student-centered.
And we must remember that education should be inclusive, embracing all learning styles without leaving anyone behind. So every student has a different pace and way of understanding.
Big thanks to all our guests for you sharing your opinion and your thought.
So once again, Mr. Rokan, Miss Tiara, Miss Kelly, thank you for your attention in here, and for students in here, thank you for joining us
Thank you for
in this episode of LeCor's Talk. Let this be not just a discussion, but a small step forward toward meaningful change in Indonesian education.
Absolutely, Marcel. Let's not forget, education is not just about academics, but also is about mental strength, character, and future readiness.